Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our special Sunday night story series. Now, every night during Ramadan, we are doing 30 stories for 30 nights, stories of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But every weekend, we'll also do an extra special Sunday story night with a selection of some of our favorite Ramadan stories. And so this evening, we'll be reading It's Ramadan, Curious George. Yes, it's that familiar curious monkey plus his friend, the man with the yellow hat, and they are enjoying Ramadan this year. So let's read It's Ramadan, Curious George. A special month. George can't wait for tomorrow, when the month of Ramadan will start. It's a special time of year for his friends. And George is going to take part. George and Kareem are so busy, helping to cook and bake sweets. With a good little monkey joining in, soon there's a big pile of treats. Kareem is going to try fasting, a day without food or drinks. George is curious. Can Kareem do it? He'll need some help, George thinks. And we can see that George is there with his friend Kareem, and they're with Kareem's mom and dad, and they're preparing special Ramadan cookies, and they've got lots of other food and goodies and treats ready for iftar. Kareem's father's putting something in the oven, and the man with the yellow hat is hanging up a banner reading Ramadan Mubarak. Day of Fasting. George is asleep in his bed when Kareem's alarm starts to beep. Kareem wakes for an early meal, though the sun is still fast asleep. Later, when it's lunchtime, Kareem reaches for a piece of bread. Wait, no food until sundown. George keeps him busy instead. What is the sound George is hearing? It's a rumbling from Kareem's tummy. George drags him away from the kitchen. Whatever is cooking smells yummy. And you can see they're waking up in bed for suhoor, and during the day they're playing checkers and trying their best to stay out of the kitchen. Now it's waiting for sunset. You can see everyone's gathered round there, waiting for sunset. Everyone gathers together. As the sun begins to set, the minutes tick by slowly. It still isn't dark enough yet. Finally, it's time to break fast. Kareem snacks on a sweet date. Then he takes a big gulp of milk as George loads more treats on his plate. I did it, George, cheers Kareem. George nods. He's glad to be there. The room is filled with happiness and the peaceful sounds of prayer. Okay, and we can see here that George and Kareem are enjoying some dates and some strawberries and some cookies there with some milk. It's dinner time. Now it's time to eat dinner. The spread on the table looks great, with something special for everyone. The meal was well worth the wait. Look at all the great choices: kebabs, curries, veggies, and rice. George spots a big pizza and takes a hot cheesy slice. Now that the meal is over, the best treat has been saved for last: chocolate dipped bananas to celebrate Kareem's first fast. Sharing with others. Kareem invites George to the mosque. They gather to do good deeds. Together, they make food baskets to share with others in need. Wow, look at George's. He's joined the action. He knows how to lend a hand. And when he spies a shelf full of shoes, George comes up with a plan. No, George, says the Imam with a laugh. Those shoes belong to us here, but you gave me a great idea. We'll add a clothes drive next year. You can see that they're doing the food drive here, and then George gets an idea. He sees a bunch of shoes on the shoe rack and decides to donate those as well. The Imam describes or explains that that's actually their shoes, but comes up with a good idea of a food or a clothes drive for next year. Now we've got spotting the moon. Ramadan is almost over. The special month will end soon. George and the man search the sky to catch a glimpse of the moon. There it is, George points. He found it. A thin crescent shining bright. Tomorrow is the Eid festival, but the celebration will start tonight. Kareem gives George a gift. New clothes for Eid, he says. It's a fancy vest for George, and for the man a yellow fez. So we've got George and the man with the yellow hat and their friend Kareem spotting the moon and then exchanging gifts for Eid. An Eid celebration. Happy Eid! The holiday is here. The mosque is busy and loud. Everyone is dressed in the finest. What a good-looking crowd. George greets Kareem with a hug and spends the day with his friends. After hours of feasting and fun, they are sad that Eid has to end. But soon it's time to go home. As the moon returns to the skies, George thinks of his first Ramadan and smiles as he closes his eyes. And there we've got everyone greeting each other at the masjid and the kids playing. Reminds me a lot of our Eids at the Burlington Masjid. And we know that this year is a bit different. We're not able to invite our friends over like George got to do in this book here. And although we hope we can have Eid at the Masjid, we know that that might not be the case. But still, we've learned some wonderful lessons in here. First of all, congratulations to anyone out there, you or your brother or sister who might be fasting for the first time this year. Mabruk. We've heard about Kareem's experience with that. We also learned that Ramadan isn't just about fasting and feasting and those delicious treats like chocolate dipped bananas at night. It's also about doing good deeds, arranging food deliveries and clothing drives. And alhamdulillah, we're doing that at the masjid. MashaAllah to all the volunteers and people who have donated food. We're handing out food and we're distributing food to the community. Jazakumullah khair. To all those who are involved in that effort, and may we increase those good deeds, and may Allah reward you, inshallah. So join us next week for another special Ramadan bedtime story. Assalamu alaikum.